What up, everybody? So today, back with another one. Feels good to be back. If you guys missed these videos, I'm gonna continue to drop more content and actually go harder for you guys, of course. So I'm back, and I'm back for good. I'm gonna be making content as much as possible, as much as I can, based upon things that I'm interested in, and hopefully you guys can find some interest in what I'm interested in too, as well. So, as you guys can see, I actually have on my Tommy Works hoodie. This is a new one, right? It just dropped. You guys can get it at tommyworks.net. Again, that's tommyworks.net and pick up your hoodies. They come in different colors and everything, just to support me, support my channel, and things like that. So, we're gonna get straight into the content, right? So, today, I want to basically discuss. I saw this thing. It's really interesting. It was on Twitter between Elon Musk and Bernie Sanders. Elon Musk has had, issues and words with Bernie Sanders over a period of time. This is not something new. Bernie Sanders he's talked about Elon Musk before, about just like how he capitalism, and how he just doesn't want to pay taxes in that regards, or high taxes for the ultra wealthy, right? So, and this is basically a recent situation in which Elon and had like a few choice words for Bernie Sanders on Twitter, and we're gonna discuss it, take a look at it, and see what's that about, right? So basically, Elon Musk picked a Twitter fight with Bernie Sanders over tax policy. So what's interesting is Elon has basically become one of the wealthiest man in America due to Tesla and the run up of the Tesla stock, right? Which is doing great, by the way. I love Tesla. I like Elon Musk as a CEO. He seems like somebody that's, you know, uh, somewhat relatable. He has his own mind of its own. Of course, it's always inspiring to see what people can come up with and do, right? So yeah, Tesla's been running up tremendously, doing really well. He brought a lot of innovation to basically the autonomous driving, to electric vehicles, and because of what's going on with the high inflation and the high gas prices and things of that, is making electric vehicles look more pleasing to people, and that's also increasing basically the worth of Tesla. It's all like some kind of elaborate plan once you really think about it. The fact that gases are so high, people are like, man, I should switch over to electric because I don't have to pay these gas prices. The cars are nice, they're faster than gas cars, and they drive smooth, they don't make any noise, they look good. The brand name behind Tesla is amazing. So basically, what happened was Elon had to he put a poll up on Twitter, basically saying if he should sell 10% of his stocks, right, that he's received from Tesla, and it kind of all coincides with each other. And he put up this poll, and the poll was an agreement, I think like 50 something percent agreements that he should sell 10% of his stock. And since then, he actually has been selling off his stocks. And the reason why this is important is because when you do not sell your assets like stocks and things like that, you don't get taxed for that because it's unrealized capital gains. It's unrealized. You can yeah, it's grown in value, but it can also lose its value, and you don't get taxed on that, right? Unless you sell. So once you sell that, you actually get taxed on your unrealized capital gains, and that can go into the government's pocket to do a whole lot of things that the government does, right? So he made that poll, knowing that this is obviously the reason. What I just said was really the reason why that he's going to sell, so he can basically he's going to get taxed on that, use the income as well that he's gained from his stocks to pay whatever type of taxes or whatever that he has to pay as well, right? So let's keep going. So we're going to talk about a few things, and we're going to just start down the line here. So Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk sparred with the Senator Bernie Sanders over tax policy this weekend on Twitter and tried to provoke him again on Monday. According to his website, the independent senator, who generally uh, caucuses with Democrats, is a proponent of transitioning the U.S. energy system to renewables, providing $200 billion to Green Climate Fund and other environment-oriented policies that would serve Tesla well. But he also is a proponent of hiking taxes for the super rich, as an Oregon Democratic Senator Ron Wyden, who Musk uh, needled on Twitter in a similar exchange early in November. Musk, who has the highest net worth in the world today, is staunchly against the so-called billionaire income tax. And I understand why, because we're so much in debt, so much in debt. The government um, there's so much quantitative easing. They produce so much fiat currency that even taxing the wealthy a percentage or whatever more is not going to really do much to the overall amount that we have to pay. It's not going to do anything really, especially when interest rates increase and that becomes even more that we have to pay back. So it's kind of just like beating a dead horse. It doesn't really do anything. I mean, it might influence the influx of money momentarily, but at the end of the day, we just have so much debt, it doesn't really matter, right? You got to get that under control. So last week, Musk sold about 6.9 billion worth of stock. As on Monday morning, Musk still holds more than 166 million shares in the company. This recent week, sales from Musk and other insiders have put pressure on Tesla shares. Last week, Tesla stock declined 15.4%. Yeah, that's because he sold. That made people worried. Like, hey, why is he selling? Is it overvalued? And things like that. So as the sell-off continues, Musk will face a potentially massive tax bill, right? Because the gains that he's received from selling his stocks has to be taxed. So that's not just for him, that's for anybody who have stocks and it gained anything. You get taxed on that. Um, Musk will face a potentially massive tax bill. However, reported Musk previously paid a 3.27 true tax rate, 455 million on his wealth growth of 13.9 billion. Musk, who had an actual taxable income of 1.5 billion during the 5 years period, paid no federal income tax in 2018, according to ProPublica. On Twitter, Sanders has amassed a following of more than 15 million, and Musk has amassed a following of 63.8 million. So basically, this is how we're gonna get to how the spat between them happened, and we're gonna take a look at this and see what this is about. On Saturday, the 80-year-old Vermont senator wrote in a tweet, I'm laughing because you're going to see why, right? We must demand the extremely wealthy pay their fair share, period. And this is something that's, his stance is pretty common. This is not something new for Bernie. So that's a common statement of his. And Musk replied the next day with, I keep forgetting you're still alive. So Musk, he's a very interesting guy. Has no filter. That's what it seems like. That was to me. That was pretty funny. But it's also a little like you question that statement and stuff like that. But it was funny. I wouldn't say it's the right thing to say, or really do. But again, that's Musk. He's his own person. So he said that, and then he also asked later on within that, this is on Twitter, by the way, within that Twitter chain, he says, want me to sell more stock, Bernie? Just say the word. And the CEO berated the senator saying, Bernie is a taker, not a maker. See, and this is where Elon is also very consistent in his thoughts and his statements and things like that. So Elon is definitely the type of individual who's not really focused on stocks, on trying to make an income with stocks and stuff like that. Yes, he owns stocks of his company because this is what you have to do. Of course, you want to have money, be wealthy, and things like that. But his proponent really is for people to actually be useful in society and actually create things and be creative, and not be worried about stocks as much, but to actually be a creator in the economy, starting jobs, doing coding, technology, and trying to have a nation advancement. That's why he says Bernie's a taker, not a maker, because he views Bernie and people like Bernie as like people who are just trying to take. They're not really making anything. They're not creating anything like he is. He's creating Tesla autonomous vehicles. He's doing space exploration, a whole lot of things that he's contributing to. He just sees Bernie and a lot of people who just kind of focus on stocks as just takers. So he wants, he likes to show people like, hey, you have to actually learn the skill, be creative, do these type of things. Don't worry about being a stock trader and things like that. You can invest into stocks, but you shouldn't make that like something that your life goal or something like that. So and then he also says, want me to sell more stock, Bernie? So again, you know, this so when we listen to what I previously said about how when you sell your stocks, and this is, Elon, he's the wealthiest man in America right now. So when he sells his stock, he's selling billions and billions upon dollars and stuff like that. He's gaining billions and billions upon dollars when he sells his stock, and because of he's selling that, whatever he's gained from the previous the cost, right, the increase of cost is going to get taxed, and that's what the government wants. So he knows that. So he says, "Want me to sell more stock, Bernie?" Because he knows he's going to get taxed for that, and he's doing his part too for society as well by selling his shares and not just keeping it, because he can keep it. It's his shares, it's his stock. He can keep them, and he doesn't have to sell 10%. It's his company. He can do whatever he wants with the stock that he has, but he's doing it, and he's just saying like, "Hey, you want me to sell more stocks?" Because it's like, when is enough for you, Bernie? Basically saying that. So then um, he said, he asked, okay, how much do you think is fair? Does 53% seem reasonable? So things like that. So, Elon just like, man, is getting out of hand in what the government wants from us and things like that. Even though I know in Elon's mind as well, he's like, look, we're creating massive companies that's giving a lot of jobs to people, that's, making cheaper alternative vehicles, is doing so much to society, is contributing, and all you're worried about is taxing us, even though we're creating jobs for people to earn money and contributing to the economy in such a way, right? So here we go. So I'm just gonna read a few more, and then we can kind of close off on this. So so I'm gonna read, just let's see what the important parts of this is. So I'm gonna read the tweets now. What do you think of a tax structure where there's only a sales tax so that rich folks who buy a lot of stuff would get the largest tax burden and low income families who don't buy much would pay the least? This would punish extravagant purchases instead of capital building. Agreed. Taxes are the best applied to especially extravagant consumption, whereas capital allocation taxes reduce goods and service output. So actually bad for people, like we just discussed, because he's creating. Sorry, let me get back to the page. He's creating, as you can see, he's creating jobs and things like that. So when you're trying to tax the company itself, or based upon what the company's providing and things like that, the actual business itself, you're actually hurting the people that works there. You're hurting, because you're hurting the company, because they're not going to be able to afford more workers, and then there's not going to be people who can actually earn a living for themselves and things like that. So it all kind of comes to into play. So probable capital for allocation skill of hires is lower than original creator, so I am in favor of estate tax. Okay, so let's read this one too. Yeah, if you are told to sell your stocks just to pay taxes, then you could lose majority share in Tesla, right? I had majority control for the first 5 years or so of Tesla, but car companies need lots of capital. So now I'm around 20% or so, despite putting in as much as I could along the way. So he's only around 20%. He's just being honest. And, again, the guy did bring up a very interesting question, that, when you do sell the shares of your company, you are losing control of that company, right? You're giving away the shares, you're losing a majority control, because that's how it's all allocated. When you first start a company, you get 20% of this, 10% that, 10% stock, you have this share, this say, and all of that stuff. But like you said, he needs a lot of capital, has to raise a lot of capital, and that divvy up the shares, the ownership of that of Tesla as a company. But he still owns a good amount as an individual, so so proprietor. So that's still really good. Um, but yeah, I thought this whole thing was very, very interesting. Of course, because we've heard the news about that individual who wants to start taxing unrealized gains, because it's just like, because it, they feel like it's cheating the system, which just doesn't make any sense, because this has been something that's been around for so long, and people have been investing into stocks for so long. It's like, why now? Is it because more common people are getting more involved into stocks right? More common people than there's ever been. So now you want to start taxing unrealized gains. That's ridiculous. Like you're trying to take money from the people as well, the common folks, you know? So it's just like I don't think it's the right thing to do. If you know if they want to sell their stocks and and have that be taxed, that's their own business. Because I'm gonna sell mine when I want to sell mine. I'm not trying to be forced to sell shares in my company just to pay some taxes. I already pay it on an income based level anyway from my job. I pay like 33% tax. It's like how much more taxes can the person pay? You know what I'm saying? So apart from that, this was really interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed and liked. I'll definitely be making more content, more videos coming up soon and everything. I thought this was interesting. Keep investing, keep investing, uh, keep researching, keep learning, learn a skill. Um, uh, take your time wisely. Get in shape. Read more. All those things that you can possibly do. Enjoy your life. You know, love those that you love, and just be a good person. Other than that, guys, I will definitely see you guys later.